Well. Welcome back to this week's trade recap. I just took a trade inside here. It's not what I would have expected, but I'll come back to that in a second. First, I'll go straight to the trades I took this week and I'll start right ahead with Monday. So here on Monday, we were above this higher time frame breaker block, and I was still kind of bullish. We were respecting bullish PD arrays, and I was trying to target this for the whole week. When I went into the market, I was already trying to look for some longs, and around this zone, I didn't find any kind of setup. But when we formed this, I was kind of looking for longs, because if I zoom in on the 5 minutes, we quickly see that this kind of looks like some sort of a V shape to the upside. This looks like a lower resistance trend line liquidity, and this looks like a good target. But we didn't inverse this 15-minute nor 1 hour to the upside for me to have a clear draw on liquidity in these highs. My bias was bullish, but I still didn't have the confirmation for me to take this. And right here, I was looking for longs, but none of them were presented to me. But on the open, if we zoom on the 1 minute, we went below, which was something I wasn't expecting. We swept this looks like a clear sweep, and we inversed this 1 minute to the upside. Now, as I said, I was bullish. My bias was bullish, and this started to be my target. We inversed this with momentum. This is the most textbook play I've seen in a while. I waited for it to inverse. It inversed right here. I entered with 2 contracts, and I didn't hold till here, which would be really amazing. But because this was a Monday, and this is a week really strange where we have NFP on Wednesday and CPI on Friday. And once again, because this was a Monday and I wasn't expecting a so efficient play, when I went to the hourly, as you can see, we still had an inverse this 1 hour to the upside. So I draw the 50% of this week, which just means the consequent encroachment of this week. And that is exactly what I targeted that day. I ended up, it was not really here. Something isn't quite right. But the consequent encroachment of this week was somewhat around here. And this is where I took my trade. Also, around here was when ES made an SMT on the high, so ES took that high. And once again, because this was a Monday, I wasn't trying to gamble anything. This was already a really good trade, and I took everything right here. If I had runners, maybe if I had a third contract right here, I would maybe hold 1 contract to up here. But because I just have 2 contracts, as I said in the previous video, it doesn't make sense to scale only 50% of the position in a place I think the market could retrace to the other side and stop me at break even. Around the same thing happened on Tuesday. I didn't really have a bias, but we started leaving buy side up here, and we had some sort of a market maker buy model to the upside, but we didn't took it. We failed to take it right here. And my bias for the week was still this high, so my draw on liquidity was higher. At the open, if we zoom on the 1 minute, we just started going down, and here we have relatively equal lows, as you can see, and we have this data wick of the 830. So I was kind of looking kind of bearish while we were still on the open. But when we did take these lows, my draw on liquidity was still higher, so I started looking for longs. And right here, I didn't find anything of my interest. But I was already eyeballing this 1 minute up here, which combines with a 5 minute. And when we started having this kind of momentum, the market didn't respect any CVs, any bearish PD arrays. We inversed the 1 minute and the 5 minute at the same time, so I entered this with around 2 contracts and I took everything up here. It was a really efficient play, really nice one. Really like this one as well. I think it was kind of lucky because the market going 170 points with just one direction isn't quite the usual. we stalled a bit around here, and I thought I was going to get stopped at break-even, but we were just engineering more liquidity, and we just blasted above all this liquidity to the left in like 5 seconds, and I took my position all here. I didn't want to hold because we had already such a big momentum, and around here I thought that we should get some sort of rebalance. Now we come to today. On Wednesday and Thursday I didn't take any trade because it was just sideways, or it just chose one direction and didn't have any rebalances for us to take a trade, and that got us on Friday. Today I didn't have the best bias, but I was somewhat bullish because we left this untapped 4-hour and we were respecting this 4-hour busy. So I thought, okay, we'll respect this one and we will take the highs. And that's kind of exactly what is happening. But going on the 1 minute, around here, we left this data high and we almost take the data high. So this makes this a really good liquidity zone. This is a data high with a relatively equal high, more liquidity around here, and we came below, we swept this liquidity and we went above. So here, this 30-second, this is a really good trade, but this is something I usually take. A lot of momentum, etc, etc. But I hesitated to take it because I wasn't expecting us to take liquidity again. We already took it here, we took it here, and we took it here again. So my bias here was kind of uncertain, but because we had data highs and relatively equal highs around this zone, I thought, okay, we are bullish, we shouldn't go lower. And we did go lower. So when we were inversing this, I thought, why is the market so low right now? I wasn't expecting it to go so low. So when we inverse this 30-second, because this was also so steep and so quick, I didn't even got the time to relax, so to speak, and really think if I am whether or not taking this trade. So it inversed. I thought, okay, shit, I should have already taken this trade, and it just kept going higher, and that's okay. I kind of got a little bit mad, but that's okay. And usually after this, I really should stop for the day. And this is where mistakes are made. Because I failed to take a trade, usually what happens is, and this is a rule that I'm gonna implement, when I fail to take a trade that works, when that happens again, so I am hesitating to enter a trade, I usually don't hesitate in the second one. Because I already made a mistake in the previous one, usually I don't make the mistake again. So as you can see here, this isn't the best play because we already took buy side. So this is some sort of protected high. But I was still bullish, and as you can see, I was right. We are going to my draw one liquidity, which makes me happy. And if we go on ES, we still, if I divide this, we still hadn't take this high. So this is still, there is a lot of liquidity around here. But because we already took the high on NQ and we already had such a good movement, we usually tend to chop around a little. But because we failed these 2 minutes, as you can see, we were still respecting the 4-hour, we failed these 2 minutes to the downside, and this was a really obvious 1 minute. I thought that, okay, we shouldn't be around here. If we come around here, we will take all, as you can see, the market is failing to go above this zone. So if we come back here and we inverse something, maybe we should. But there's still this 5 minutes. So if we don't inverse this 5 minutes, we will have a problem still going up. But I thought to myself, okay, if we come above this, which is some sort of a protected high, it kind of is a protected high because we swept this high inside of our valley gap. If we come around here, we should keep going higher. But this is where I made a mistake. This is still a protected high. So unless we take sell side again, we can't really take this and take a trade around here, having 100% confidence that this will work. And I did end up taking this trade. I longed here. My target to break even was here, so because ES once again was so near this, I thought that it would take it quickly and it would be a easy break even to me. It wasn't. I placed my stop around here. I got stopped. We can talk about that I made the mistake, that this should still be the zone of the inversion and my stop loss should be below this. Yes and no. If we weren't chopping, this wouldn't even occur. It was just a mistake that I shouldn't have made. Here on the 1 minute that for some reason isn't loading right now. This is a mistake that I shouldn't have made. We already took the buy side liquidity. I still ended the week really green. I ended the week almost 2.5 R up. Still, it is nice to know that I was still right. It was a really good week. Knowing that it could have been better still hurts, but that's something that I have to deal with. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next week. Thank you. Bye bye.